This video was recorded in front of a live virtual audience. Hi everybody, Dacob here. Welcome back to the Fashion Bunker. Today we're going to be reviewing one of the oldest, well, there's always older, but one of the oldest perfumes ever. No, that's the wrong way of putting it. But it is the first floral bouquet fragrance ever, or at least Houbigant wants to tell us it is. And it is relatively old in terms of when it was launched. And it was launched in 1912. And the fragrance we will be reviewing is Quelques Fleurs by Houbigant. I have here a new bottle formulation, the current formulation of it. And what is fascinating to note right off the bat is that they do have two different productions, one aimed for Europe, one aimed for America. And the American one, which is what I have, is it's really hard to see, but literally they put a sticker on the American distribution on top of the ingredients of the European one. Why? Because there's a difference. They add oak moss. Yes, there is oak moss in the American version. Evernia prunastri oak moss extract is listed. So there's an extra sticker. And if you peel off the sticker underneath there, I think they still say Evernia prunastri. There's still oak moss. But the European one did not list oak moss. This one has oak moss. Let's get to the review. Before we spritz it, let me remind you to, if you like my content on my channel, to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And you can also push the join button next to the subscription button to become a member today and get extra perks. You can also join me on Patreon, superdacob all spelled together, where you get access to special videos and features that are not available on YouTube. I would like to thank my patrons and my members for pledging and supporting the Fashion Bunker. Thank you guys so much. I would also like to thank my co-reviewers and chatters in the live chat right now, because this video is being filmed live in front of a virtual bunker studio audience. So thank you to my chatters who are here on the side. I will be getting to you soon. So let's spray on the perfume. Quelques Fleurs, l'original. So this is the original, the first one. Oh, envelop me with your floral fullness. Okay, before I even go into the notes, let's debunk a misconception here. Most of the reviews out there, most of the people talking about this perfume out there are going to tell you, granny perfume. My granny smelled like this. Old woman perfume. Oh, it smells like an old school perfume. I, for the love of me, do not know where these comments come from, why these comments even happen. This does not smell like something old worldly or old in any way. You know, I'm completely against ageism, and I hate when people go there. I think perfumes are timeless, ageless, genderless. So get that right out of the, ballpark and move that to the side. We don't need that shebang. Let's stick to facts. Fact is, every nose perceives things differently. Our memories of olfactive experiences are different. So whatever. Me personally, when I first smelled this, I was like, oh my God, this is bombastic. It's in many ways overpowering, but it is not screechy. It is not artificially heavy in any way, like you would envision something from the 20s. The 10s, 1912. This baby came out before aldehydes were even on the market. This baby came out before Chanel No. 5 was released. Like, we're talking, this is the time in perfumery where things were on the horizon, things were happening and moving. And Houbigant, or the brand today, says that this was the first floral bouquet fragrance ever to have been created. I can't attest to that, since I hath not liveth in that period of history. But if I smell it in its current formulation today, it doesn't, I mean, I have not smelled the 1912 formulation, but what I have now to deal with now in its current state is one of the most full and succulent bouquets out there. It is not even that floral to me. It's like not your typical floral. It's not something you're used to smelling when you smell florals. This one has butter mixed in it. It is like a rich, thick, dense, honey. There's no honey, but honeyed type of, there's no honey in there, but it has that suppleness of something that is ripe. It's more of a floral fruit. It's not fruity, it's floral, but envision a flower that has thick, juicy petals that are creamy and buttery to the touch. If you squeeze them, you get oils all over your fingers. Like, that's how this is. And yes, it can be heavy and intoxicating that way. Robert Bienom or Bienem, I do not know how to pronounce your name, Robert. May you rest in peace. Robert Bienaime is how you spell it. It's Bienaime. For all my French peeps out there, I'm sorry for butchering this name, but Quelques Fleurs, l'original. I'm not butchering the name of the perfume, at least. Listen, you guys, top notes. We got green notes, orange blossom, tarragon, bergamot, citruses, lemon, and galbanum. This is the top notes. Middle notes. Are you ready? And this is just a tiny fraction of the middle notes. Are you ready for florals like you have never seen before? I'm going to give them to you. Jasmine, lilac, lily of the valley, carnation, violet. Oh, you think that's enough? No, it's not enough. Rose, ilang ilang, orchid. Oh, you think that's enough? No. We have iris. I mentioned carnation before. We got also the clove, heliotrope, orris root, broom flower, and all of that swirling at a party hosted by yours truly, the tuberose. Those are the middle notes. And this is just a fraction of the middle notes. And then we go to the base notes. Oak moss, civet, musk, tonka bean, sandalwood, cedarwood, orris root. Now, if you go to some Oompa Loompa perfume, fragrance websites out there, they're going to list some ingredients in this one that are wrongly listed because they've taken the list of ingredients from Quelques Fleurs Royal, which are not present in Quelques Fleurs l'Original. So be careful when you go to certain websites that we don't like, that make mistakes with their ingredients. And also the dates of release. This one was not released in 1913. It was released in 1912. You know who we're talking about. All right. Now listen. Quelques Fleurs. It is... It's a floral bouquet that literally envelops you like completely. And then it's like you pour milk all over this kind of whole embrace. And then you add a bit of cinnamon. There's no cinnamon in this perfume. There's no milk in this perfume. But I'm describing to you the feeling of it. And you add a bit of cinnamon, and then you throw honey on top. There's no honey in here either. And you swirl it all together, and then you start throwing all the flowers that you have on top of your body, and they'll stick to you. And somehow magically, they all blend in so superbly that you can't really sniff out each and every one of them individually, but they melt together in a way that you get this floral juice, which is, I'm telling you guys, it's so rich. It doesn't smell rich, but it is rich. You know, it doesn't smell of money. It smells of fulfilled. It's like so fulfilling. And it's almost a syrupy flower. It's almost like a powdery, syrupy jelly bean, airy. it's And yet, through it all, you have that kind of civet and that musk and that ambery note that warm up everything from the bottom, but so gently. They're never overpowering. It's not a skanky civet. It's not a skanky musk or amber. They're there to enhance the flowers. They literally are there to just heat up the flower. They keep heating them up, and they keep forcing the flowers to emanate the most succulent of smells that they can possibly emanate. And it keeps coming at you. And it lingers and lingers and lingers. Now, some people are saying that, oh, well, this kind of has really short longevity. No. This thing is a beast. It goes on for hours and hours and hours. It does tone down and stay close to, at a certain point, after like 4 or 5 hours, it becomes a skin scent. But it slithers to your nose for hours and hours. It becomes too much, even, if you're not up for that type of buttery floral, And the ylang ylang in here is a bomb. That butter that you smell, that buttery smell of ylang ylang, is all over the place here. And I mean, we got these night flowers. We got the jasmine, ylang ylang, and tuberose. And they are together this kind of, they're the bad boys, the bad boys of the bunch. They're the boys that sit always in the back of the school bus. Oh yeah, they're the ones who take, they sit at the back of the school bus, and all y'all's best be warned, because they are bullies. But they're so cute. They're hot. All the chicks got the hots for the bad boys. And, and some of the gay boys got the hots for the bad boys too. And the bad boys are in this one, and they're seated right at the back bottom of the bus. That is Quelques Fleurs. It's not a coincidence that Courtney Love is said to have worn this while she was courting and dating Kurt Cobain. Kurt allegedly loved this one. Courtney wore this one. Lady Diana wore it to her wedding day. Allegedly spilled a full bottle on her wedding dress before hitting the road to the church, a cathedral, wherever she went to. And so I'm imagining, if it's true that she spilled a bottle, already spritzing it from a distance a couple of times, it's like, what the heck is going on? Could you imagine a full bottle on your wedding dress while you're going to your wedding? I mean, wow. Just wow. Houbigant is a company that exists since centuries. You know that I heard from the owner of the company, the co-owner of the company herself, telling me, not telling me, telling us that um, Marie Antoinette was also said to have, as they were taking her to the guillotine, to her death, she took a couple of vials. Of course, this one was released way after her death. This one came out in 1912. But Houbigant existed already at the time of Marie Antoinette. She took 3 vials of Houbigant perfume with her, just to smell them, to be less scared of what was coming, of the guillotine. So it is said that Houbigant has been, you know what I mean, there, and Houbigant fragrance was present at the moment when Marie Antoinette was decapitated. The history behind this brand is insane. It runs so deep, and they're working so hard to maintain the quality of their perfumes as much as possible. I have to tell you, just like I love the current formulation of Chanel No. 5's Pure Perfume, I really think Chanel did it justice. Yes, it evolves. Yes, it changes. No, it is not the same smell and the same exact formulation as it was in 1920 when it was first released. Probably neither is this one. But just like with Chanel No. 5 Pure Perfume, I can tell you, this thing really smells like so different than anything else out there. It's its own thing, and it is balmy and creamy and flower bombasticy at the same time, and it's timeless. Whoever tells you this thing smells old, I do not understand how people could think that. This thing, if smelled in the right moment, it smells super 80s. Sometimes it smells almost like a Chypre from the 70s. Sometimes it has a vibe from the 20s. Sometimes it feels like something that was just launched today. It has everything. And that to me is a timeless fragrance. Sometimes it smells like a really complex hair product to like a balmy conditioner for the hair. Sometimes it smells like a soap. Sometimes it smells like a very, very dense cream, like a hydrating cream. Sometimes it smells like a bunch of flowers pressed together and just like squished so hard until all their juices and essential oils are just drip out of them. It's incredible. I mean, it's syrupy too. And it's so, right now with all the spotlights, it's developing in a different way than when I tested it and wore it days without spotlights on. So the heat gives it even more depth and warmth, and it tickles out more of the civet and the amber. And it's, I mean, wow. Worth every penny, and it ain't cheap. But now I'm not a fan of the bottle though. Not this bottle. I do like the other bottle, but this is a 50 ml. I mean, it, yeah, they got these like kind of elevated. Well, let me try to zoom in. So they got these kind of like etched or elevated in relief flowers. They got 3 on one side and then they got 2 on the other. So it's really beautiful to the touch, frosted glass. And then they got this kind of etched floral, abstract floral design running through the cap, through the stopper. And then when you lift this is very heavy. This is not a cheap thing, you guys. It's a very heavy metal. And then inside, it's not just like a cheap little plasticky thing, but this violet color plastic is completely it's like completely full all around, you know. There's no hollow space in there. It's super heavy, very, very, very substantial. And the color is actually very, very descriptive of what the smell is like. It has a mauve, violety touch to it, but the amber, the civet, I mean, you guys, budget permitting, try this out. It's you might not wear it every day because this one is a commitment, but to have smelt it and experienced it, like this is an eau de parfum. I have the eau de parfum, by the way. I don't have the pure extract. They also do sell it as a pure extract for like $450 for 100 mil, which 100 mil for pure extract is not that. 100 mil pure extract 450 is not actually that bad for a pure perfume. But this is the current um, packaging, the Houbigant sticker on top. This is the box on the side. It has to say Quelques Fleurs l'original. Don't do. They have a lot of different flankers. Get the original. Don't go for the other ones. Try this one first because this was the closest to the first formulation. And then mine has the sticker because, you know, for the States they added that little sticker for Evernia prunastri and what have you. Reasons, but I kind of am looking underneath the sticker. Underneath the sticker, they also have Evernia prunastri, but this is just, I guess, a different description of it. I don't know. Maybe the formulation, maybe some words are written more in English terminology rather than Latin. I do not know, but gorgeous. Oh my God, and I just had a cocktail before reviewing this perfume. I had a dirty martini with vodka based dirty martini. Um, a lot of olives, very 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 dirty. A lot of olive juice as well in there because I wanted something acidic and asper to kind of have that in my palate to counter this, just to enhance even more the sweet aspects of this one, and it really works depending on what you drink or what you smoke before. If you're smoking cigarettes, you're going to blend the perfume in a different way altogether, but it is insanely delicious. So delicious that you have to respect it in a way not to wear it every day. This one is the type of perfume like once a week you wear it and you go, You wear it every day and you overdose. You overdose in the best of ways, but you might lose the sensibility to it if you overuse it. And that would be a pity. That would be a shame because then you would stop smelling out all the nuances and facets in it because it's an infinity of flowers. Let me read some of the notes that I've written here down about it. Upwards of 15,000 flowers and 250 raw materials are diligently curated in the creation of a single ounce of the eau de parfum. A single ounce of this. The fragrance is still composed in Grasse, France, overlooking the same historic landscapes that inspired its formulation. The smell is ambrosial. Now, that was the word. Ambrosial. Ambrosia. This does smell of ambrosia. It does have that ambrosial touch. Milky, creamy, buttery ambrosial touch. It's ethereal, courtly. It's a mosaic fragrance, a plush, ambrosial, delicate floral breath as it's mingled in nature. The enchanting, radiant essence bombards the olfactory senses with soft, sensual, voluptuous flowers arranged in immaculately nuanced, concordant tonalities. This is from Houbigant's own website. There's not a single tonal misfire among its accordant notes, scored in harmonic, well-tempered arrangements. In an era when new perfumes come and go, there is nothing as exquisite as a classic that endures. The first multifloral bouquet. And the funny thing is, Houbigant has such a history. Not only did they start the floral bouquet, Houbigant was also the first brand to ever initiate the fougère grouping or pairing of perfumes. They were the first brand to have a fougère fragrance on the market, because the smell of fougère, of the actual plant, is impossible to extract. So they found a way to arrive to an impression of the smell of it through the fougère composition, which we know today in perfumery. And Fougère Royale was the first fougère out there. And they brought it back to the market. So that is something launched in like around 1883 or something like that. I mean, it's insane. Like the history of this perfume house, and then the fact that it's kind of, it's not even niche. Because what I define niche, to me, niche, it's not just because it's not really marketed massively. Niche to me is also something like brands that really are just starting now, that are like kind of, claiming that influencer shtick. Byredo, do I hear ya? Epic fail. But that's kind of like niche. But this is not niche, you guys. This is like the birth of modern day perfumery. It's the inception of it. So this is not niche. It's just, it hasn't experienced such marketing genius moves like other brands have, like Dior or Chanel have, to endure in time in the memory of people and being super popular today. So it's surviving, it's living, but it's not a mass consumed product, which I am happy for, actually, because that means that they're not overproducing it, which means that they can hopefully utilize good ingredients. By the smell of this, they're very good ingredients. And thanks to the fact that they're not overly present on the market and not everybody knows them and they're not so sought after, their prices aren't as high as they could be given the quality of this stuff. So I wouldn't define this as niche. I would define this as a historic fragrance house that does not receive the proper marketing push that it could in this day and age, given billions of investment funds. I don't think they have that. So they're keeping it low profile, but they still exist. They still keep producing. And I think they're very, very respectful to their own heritage. They're keeping it small, neat and tidy, which I think is a very respectable way to walk for a brand like this one. They're not as huge anymore as they used to be once in the far, far distant past, but they're lucky enough that they still exist. You know how many brands don't even exist anymore nowadays. So this is amazing. They have very elegantly maintained a history, the heritage, and for whoever delves into Houbigant, actually, you can't but fall in love with it. You can't but fall in love with it. And Quelques Fleurs, it is all about love. And I am reviewing this perfume on St. Valentine's Day, so this one is all about love. Is it a wedding fragrance? Not so for me. For me, number 22 is more of a wedding fragrance. This one is about self-love. This one you spray onto yourself and you just fall into that bed of petals of all of those gorgeous, juicy, supple, ambrosial flowers. And you enjoy that time with yourself. That's my review of Quelques Fleurs. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me go to your chats, you guys. Mullet time. Oh, yes. Got a haircut. Debbie says mullet time. OMG, Mr. Philip Fabulous. Oh, this one I would love to know more about, says Aisha. It's amazing, Aisha. Yeah, perk, oak moss, nice, says Kira. It means some flowers or few flowers, says Mr. Philip Fabulous. Many flowers, no, quelques means like some flowers or of some flowers. Some flowers, many flowers is already a bouquet. Exactly. MK says, the packaging has changed so much since 1980s. I remember it used to be sold in a purple silky pouch. Oh yes, MK, but what does that even mean? The 80s. Are you kidding me, you guys? This is 1912. Who cares how the packaging looked in the 80s? This has changed from 1912. The 10s, the zeros. I mean, the 10s, the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the zeros, the 10s, now the 20s. 120 years, you guys. Already the package in the 80s is a package that's not original. It's already been, it's evolving all the time. But one thing I can tell you, delicious. Current formulation. It's insane. I am really in awe. And Jack says, oh my God, the mullet. I just realized. Hey Daniel, welcome to the chat. Olfactive Story says, is the civet really strong in that one? No, Olfactive Stories, it is not. But the civet is what allows this perfume to be, it allows the flowers, it heats up the flowers. The civet is dosed just right to keep the flowers warm all the time. And that's the beauty of this perfume. The flowers are warm. When people talk about white florals, not that we only have white florals in here, white flowers in here, but you always think about something cool, Not this one. This one is warm, but delicately warm. And the civet and the amber and the musk, they keep the temperature just right so that these flowers never go cold. They stay skin warm the whole time. So, oh no. To what? To the perfume or to the mullet? It makes everything full-bodied. I think I still have a miniature from 1980s in a box under my bed, says MK. It's the oak moss, says Debbie. Oh, the oak moss is amazing. Galbanum, yum. Olfactive Story says, like bien aimé, I believe. Oh, the name of the perfumer. Yeah, give me the floral, says Olfactive Stories. This, you guys, Olfactive Stories, try this one out if you can. I was shocked when I opened that website. 2 rows of middle notes. Yeah. Flower Bomb, says Robert. Flower Bomb, l'original. Okay, I'm fascinated, says Debbie. Yeah, the original Flower Bomb. No, it has nothing to do with Flower Bomb, you guys. Flower Bomb, compared to this one, Flower Bomb screeches at one point. Flower Bomb has that modern day, something screechy, almost peppery in it that kind of cuts you when you smell it, even though they're selling it as this flowery, fragrant Victor and Rolf Flower Bomb. Has nothing, forget about it. This thing, not one single ounce, element, molecule of this thing screeches. Oh, thank you so much for subscribing, Jean Palma. Thank you. This one doesn't have one single molecule that is out of place. It, from the get-go, from when you spray it on, it's never acidy. It never attacks you. It's never metallic. It doesn't, it was designed before aldehydes existed. And it never gives you, it's so organic. It flows like a beautifully flowing wave. The sound of this perfume is like this, right? These are the waves of Quelques Fleurs. The waves of Flower Bomb, they're more like, that's how I would describe the movement of the smell of Flower Bomb. But Quelques Fleurs, it flows. It's a creamy flow. There's no spikes. Nothing is spiking there. It envelops you like a cocoon. I am liking the sound of this perfume, and having arrived late, I don't even know what it is, but I want it, says Daniel. Quelques Fleurs by Houbigant. Someone mentioned earlier, if fragrances would repeat themselves, we see fashion fade in and out and in again. I wonder when we will see opulent, heady florals become mainstream again. I do not know when and if, but this thing is it. It's just so majestic. How many flowers do you want? Answer, yes. That's a good one. Oh no, Robert, you said you redeemed the wrong GIF. Oh no. God damn it. Sorry. Oh well. It's okay. No ma'am was also funny. It's a funny GIF. Really want to try this. It sounds incredible. Aisha? It's incredible. Rich Mitch says it lingers. It lingers. Debbie says pricey, $200. 50 mil. Get a 50 mil. It's not that pricey. $200 is for the 100 mil. 50 mil is around 90. Hey, yes, Emilio. It's around 200 for 100 mil, but you could get the 50 mil. But I'm telling you, and it has the sandalwood in there as well. So envision that ilang ilang with the sandalwood. It has, I think, in some ways, the way the sandalwood is balanced with ilang ilang in Samsara. Samsara kind of pays a little bit of homage to Quelques Fleurs. Samsara has that Quelques Fleurs-esque tone in the sandalwood combined with the ilang ilang. And this one has it somewhere floating amidst these thousands of flowers. There's a little bit of that. But of course, this one came before Samsara, many decades before. Yes, Debbie, you said Nordstrom, that's the 100 mil cost. Right. But get the 50 mil. You don't need to get the 100 mil. I like the ones that last, says Robert. Courtney Love and Lady Diana wore it because it was a bestseller 30 years ago. Mr. Philip Fabulous, when they calculated the cost of their gown, I guess they need to add $200 worth of perfume soaked in the dress. Yeah, definitely. I hope they're not fabricating their history like Creed, LMAO. We do not know. Oh, are sure they do play on the history. I mean, they all play on history, obviously. I remember the name Houbigant from childhood, says Debbie. Mia says, she do be lying. She a chameleon. Mr. Philip Fabulous, this is what number 5 wanted to recreate when they put 180 ingredients in it at the beginning. That's a good point. Daniel says, if anything can be more illogical than giving perfume a gender, it is creating a restriction on which perfumes should be worn at a given age. Jack says, the bottle is so familiar to me, I don't know why. I mean, it's a generic shape for a perfume bottle. But it is a pretty one if you think about all the details that they added into it and the frosted glass, but it's just not the best. It's not like, but I do love the 100 mil, the little round, pebbly, like petals all together. Oh, I love that one. That bottle is beautiful. Rich Mitch says, Roja Dove was involved with Houbigant, so you can guarantee they're lying about their history. Looks like something Lancôme would design. Oh my god, it looks like Lancome's Eau de Lancôme bottle. Audrey says it's like an Avon bottle. Yeah, it has a little bit of Avon. It's definitely Avon-esque. Which I love because it's like so user-friendly. The shape is perfect. It's something... I like perfume bottles, that are kind of handy that way. But again, I've seen better designs. But for what it is, it's great. It's so delicious. MK says, my dad used to wear Duc de Vervan from the same brand. It was the same kind of scent as Eau Sauvage and Pour Monsieur, and Houbigant still makes it. Debbie says, budget says no. Amelia says, budget says, cha. Anyway, so Audrey says, £93 for 100 ml in the UK. Jack says 93 pounds for 100 mil isn't so bad. Except 93 pounds, that's a steal. I've never seen it that cheap though. Like around 150 pounds for 100 mil eau de parfum, yes. But I haven't seen 93 pounds for 100 mil. There must be some, I don't know where you got that price. I like my scent strong. Go big or go home, says Audrey to Rich Mitch. Rich Mitch says he's never made a perfume in his life. He's a creative director. He gets perfumes made and has good elocution. Who are we talking about? He's a salesman. He's what foreigners think Englishmen are like. Who are we talking about? I've just tried a sample of Quelques Fleurs from 1980s. Cocotte, says MK. I don't know who we're talking about. Oh, well. Sorry, guys, I'm just scrolling through. Okay, the modern idea of niche is a joke, says Emilia. I totally agree with you. It's beyond niche, just like Guerlain. I agree with you. Debbie says, I will have to go on Base Notes and see what other fragrances they made. The name is so familiar. Yeah, there's not a lot in the list of the fragrances that they produce today, but just a couple of them. But Fougère Royale is a very famous one. Jack says, maybe my mom had this back in the early 2000s. She was a Diana fan back then. Could have been, but if she was a Lady Di fan, she probably had, 20 Faubourg Saint-Honoré from Hermès, or what else was Diana known for wearing? Or she, she had from Lush, Gorgeous, the facial cream that was made for her by Lush. Could you believe it? Yeah, Lush did make it for her. Love your hair, Dacob, says Annie. Thank you so much, Annie. I can't figure out why the bottle is so familiar, says Jack. If I only had the patience to grow it out like that, says Annie. The bottle looks like the original bottle for Eau de Lancôme. Love the D-squared Twin Peaks flannel. It's just Twin Peaks. It's not D-squared. Annie, we don't do D-squared. Thank you for subscribing. Oh, Flower Bomb. No, says Debbie. No, it ain't Flower Bomb. Aisha says, guys, they do a sample set for 20 euros, but it's out of stock. I know, it's always sold out. I've been checking it out for like months. They do two different sample sets, either the Eau de Parfum or the pure extract sample sets, but they're sold out. I've been sniping them, but they're sold out since forever. I always had the curiosity of what happens if you mix a drop of all the perfume ever made and then sprayed. I mean, this is kind of, if that mix is blended masterfully, that's what you get. That's the video idea. Take one spray of each perfume in Dacob's collection and one of those mini spray decanters. Wonder what that would smell like. Oof. Tragic it would smell like, I think. I love L'Or Bleu. If this is that kind of vintage fragrance, I'm in that direction. I mean, they do list it as kind of in that family, but it is different, though. It is different, but oh my God. It's really good. But you can overdo it with it, I had to go off and come back. What happened to Dacob's hair? I got a haircut, you guys. He cut it in the last segment. Yeah. We were talking about Roger Dove. You don't like Roger Dove. Okay, Rich Mitch, now I get it. I mean, Emilio, now I get it. Diana wore Hermès 24 Faubourg, yes, or something like that. Yes, Emina, yes. Allegedly. I think I read Diana wore Hermès 20, yes, right. Yeah. So let's end it with Lady Diana, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've enjoyed the review of Quelques Fleurs, l'original. I mean, it ain't the cheapest nowadays, but it does smell good. And it does smell like something that you could OD on if you do too much of it. It can become intoxicating, but it never screeches. It never pitches too high. It never hits those screechy notes. It just flows like the ebb and the flood. You could flood in it, so try to maintain that balance between the ebb and the flood. If you can manage to maintain the balance between the ebb and the flood while applying this one and using this one, you're going to love it for many, many years to come. Otherwise, you could really OD on it. Nevertheless, I'm really happy to have purchased it and to have it as an olfactive memory in my olfactive archives, and it sparks a desire to know more about Houbigant, and it also sparks a desire to try out more of their fragrances, which is probably what's going to happen in the near future. You know what I mean? Because I think it merits, alone for their history and heritage. Now, there's this Italian lady and her Italian brother. They own the company now, apparently, and they also co-own the Monaco company, Monaco Perfumes. What are they called? brand. So it's kind of bizarre. I want to figure out also how, did they inherit the company? Did they buy it? I mean, after all, it is a French company. They are Italians. How did that work out? There's a lot of questions still to be resolved when it comes to Houbigant, but very fascinating questions that, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, merit delving more into and discovering more about. If you like this video, please do thumb it up and subscribe to my channel here on YouTube if you haven't already, and push the join button next to the subscription button and become a member today to get extra perks in the Fashion Bunker. You can also join me on Patreon, superdacob all spelled together, and on the side notes here are all my wonderful patrons and members. Thank you guys so much. You are my producers of the channel, so these credits are all for you. Thank you so much for supporting the channel and letting it grow and flourish. It means really the world to me. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And thank you also to all the lovely co-chatters and the chats today while we were doing our live review. You know, perfumes. They're going to be the end of us because we love them so much, but they make us also so happy. And yeah, they make the wallets broke, but they make the heart rich. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, never forget to never give up on love. Love you all. See you soon. Take care. Bye.